Probably one of the oldest functioning guitars on earth. Could you say that?
No.
Hi folks, Nathaniel here at Chicago Music Exchange, and I'm joined again by Daniel Escariza. How you doing? You good?
Can we do that again? That's so stupid.
Keep that. Hi folks, Nathaniel here at Chicago Music Exchange, and I'm joined by Daniel Escariza. How's it going?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing very well. We have probably one of the oldest functioning guitars on earth. Could you say that?
No.
No.
We can't say that.
But I did say it.
I mean, you can say it. It's
I did.
wrong.
Why?
There are older guitars that are functioning.
But is this very old?
Yes,
And does it function?
It is very old and it does function.
So I'm not wrong.
It's definitely the oldest guitar in the world in this building.
There we go. That's what I meant.
Yeah, okay.
That's
yeah.
what I meant.
So,
What exactly do we have here?
that's a good question because for a long time I didn't know either. Because this is really out of my area of expertise. I'm the vintage guitar guy, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
But 1800s, I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
But I met that guy here one time. He called me up and was like, hey, I heard you have a pretty rare guitar. And I'm writing a book on these guitars. And his name is Grieg Hutton. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I think it's Grieg, G-R-E-I-G. I don't think it's Greg. I think it's Grieg.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have gone for Greek.
Grieg Hutton, H-U-T-T-O-N. And the book that he wrote that has this guitar in there is called Hutton's Guide to Martin Guitars.
Yeah.
And I think it's 1830 something to 1969.
Oh wow.
I was so lucky to meet him because he told me all about this guitar. He knew about this guitar. So this guitar is a Martin, but what makes it special is that, well, all Martins are special,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But what makes this one extra cool is the fact that in the label inside it says Martin and Bruno. It's two people's names.
Yeah.
Which is a partnership between those two humans that lasted for a very short time, from May to September of 1838. And then he went off on his own again after that. There are only two documented Martin and Bruno guitars.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
This is one of them.
And I mean, if you look at the thing, it's just from another era. You can tell it's stunning. Obviously, the bridge. Now, I was told that it's ivory, but then somebody else told me that it was bone. I mean, ivory is bone, so I'm not an expert on elephants, but I do know that we should stop taking their ivory. That's for sure.
Probably, yeah.
But the whole thing is just absolutely stunning, and the fact that it still strings up and
plays.
Yeah, at full standard E tension.
Yeah.
And plays beautifully as you've showcased.
Yes, apologies to all the classical guitar players out there.
You know what's funny though is that this is not a classical guitar.
Right.
So it's not like it's what is it really? I mean it's a concert guitar, it's a parlor guitar.
But I mean look at that.
Oh yeah. I mean those tuners, the Stouffer style headstock, the scroll headstock, those tuners. I was told that the gears in those tuners in that era were cut by hand, which makes a lot of sense. A lot of this stuff, including literally the gears in those tuners, may have been cut by hand.
Wow.
Human hands.
That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I was kind of almost scared to pick it up when you said the year. And
you know what's so funny about that? That you say you're scared to pick it up.
I was almost scared. Go on.
This was shipped at some point in time.
Oh.
In this case, and if you look at this case, it literally has a FedEx label on the case, which means that while you and I are afraid to handle this thing, almost afraid to handle this thing, somebody put a label on this case and shipped it just without a box around it.
Standard overnight. Standard.
Not even first class.
It's a wonderful guitar, a privilege to play it as well, I gotta say.
Yeah, look at that wood in the back. I mean, that is
gorgeous, isn't it?
Bird's eyes.
Yes.
This guitar came to see me through the Chinery Collection. We had a bunch of guitars from the Chinery Collection, and incredibly, coincidentally, I happen to have the Chinery Collection book right here. Isn't that weird that it was just right there? Anyway, it's one of these books that has a chipboard case.
Not bad. Very posh.
But yeah, the Chinery Collection. And if you look on the front, there's another one of these, and this collection was amazing, by the way. He had some pretty unbelievable guitars. And
oh wow,
look at this. So if you go to, there we go. In this page here, 1839, if you open up the centerfold, you can feast your eyes on a few very early ones. Look at that.
It's not far off though, is it? In terms of size.
And this one is right here, and I'll read what it says about it because it is pretty cool. Actually, I can't see anything.
Oh, here we go.
Of the various dealings in which Martin was involved in the 19th century, least is known today of his business relationship with Charles Bruno. And it basically says that, this is the part that's interesting. It says that Martin and Bruno were importers and dealers of musical instruments, wholesale and retail. Bruno was evidently a New York agent. So he was an agent.
Right.
And he partnered with Martin to build these guitars. It was again, like we mentioned, a very short-lived relationship, partnership. And it also mentions here that, and we can just look in there.
Yeah, so
there's a label inside.
There is a repair label, repaired by James C. Boyce, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. He signed it year 1968. 1968.
Interesting.
A very fancy looking repair sticker on the inside as well, which is cool. So a wonderful time playing this guitar. to play a guitar that's almost 200 years old, and a guitar that actually is playable and very playable. It's pretty crazy, very rare.
It is crazy. There's some brand new guitars that are not playable.
I know. It's crazy to think.
Yeah, this is very special, and it's for sale. I mean, it's something that we've kept for a long time, and I think it's time for it to find a new home. So, unless it ends up in a museum, which is also a possibility, we're looking at some options for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful pleasure to play it, and maybe we'll see it again, maybe we won't. I don't know. Well, it was fun.
Yeah. Come check it out.
Or whatever it is, I can't remember. I can't go that high.